Assalamu alaikum, hello, and welcome to Cloud with Hammad, do it yourself, learning to inspire. Today, our lecture is a short video on how to establish or deploy a Kubernetes dashboard using your Kubernetes master server. So the agenda is for today is we will be logging into our Kubernetes master server. I have this open here already. I have three nodes open. One is master, node 1, and then node 2. I'm representing these as k node 01 and k node 02. This is our master, already logged into the server. I can show you how to log in. And these are my nodes. So if you click on kubectl get nodes, it's going to show you that I have a master node and I have a worker node and I have a worker node 2. So what we plan to do today is we will actually install a script that would give us access to Kubernetes dashboard, and we will configure that dashboard, and I will show you how to deploy an Nginx image, and it will show how to how to scale and everything. So before we start, don't forget to subscribe and like my channel, and if you are new here, please feel free to share it with friends and other family members. For those of you who are new, also this is how to install Kubernetes on Ubuntu. I already have a video I think I made a couple of weeks back how to install Ubuntu on Kubernetes. I have a list. Just go there, and you should be able to see how you can install first. How do you can install VM, and then how you can install Kubernetes. Okay, let's get right on it. Also, I will be taking help from my GitHub website, and I actually have collected notes for how to install Kubernetes. You can just log into my Kubernetes to my GitHub website, and you should be able to look for a Kubernetes dashboard file. What we're going to do is we will go through step by step on how to install and make changes to the rights, and then to service account and deploy some containers. So you should be able to see how it works. So let's get right on it. I feel like we spend a little bit more time here explaining. So Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Let's start with first we will go ahead and open I actually have a PuTTY open for my Kubernetes master. I created some of the nodes. So let's click on the master and log in here just to see how it works. And then all right, so this is basically logged into Kubernetes master through Ubuntu. I believe let's change the setting here as well, just to make it more prettier, I would say. Let's do Windows old mainframe setting. Change it to black, I would think, and then go ahead and click apply. Yeah, this is perfect. Okay, great. So now, as you can see, I logged into my master node, which is actually this one I already created. This is a master, which is I'm logged in, and this is worker node, and this is worker node 2. Go back to here, and then I will log into my root account, sudo su. It's going to ask me a password. I will go and give password, and you can see it logged me into Kubernetes as a root account. I would just cd and clear the screen just to make it more prettier. Now it's the same screen that I just showed you on the dashboard for Ubuntu. All you need to do is, if you want to see what my nodes are, get kubectl get nodes, and then it will show you that, hey, you got a master and 2 worker nodes. Now you want to see what are installed or what is deployed in those in those nodes. So we can just say kubectl get all, and you can see there's nothing going on. I mean, it's pretty simple. There are some other cubes. Let's say if I want to deploy a deployment, kubectl create deployment, nginx minus o by aml, output to test dot by aml, and so what does it say? Kubectl create deployment nginx image equal to, yeah, I think I made a mistake here. Let's do this here and hit enter, and here you go, we got a deployment name nginx out there. So you can see that, let me make it more clear. You can see that, you know, we got a deployment going on, name nginx, it is ready and it's working, and then there's a replica set for that deployment. If I want to do kubectl get nodes minus o wide, so it's going to show you that, you know, they got t nodes, and I would say get pods o wide, and it's going to show you where, same thing, you know. Okay, so before I delay further, let's go back to the topic. Deployment, I will just clean this up. Deployment nginx, and it is deleted. So we got nothing in there. Okay, so let's start with the basics here first. What we're going to do is I'm going to follow these instructions that was created during creating the file. And first thing is to install dashboard by executing this script. So before you do that, this is actually the link that is from where it is been taken from. So if I go here and I click here, it's going to show you where the dashboard, how to install dashboard, you know, and then, you know, it gives all the detail about how to, like you can see, gives you introduction on dashboard, how to deploy, use this command, which is what we're going to do next in our step, and then, you know, make sure that how you can access the, so what I'm trying to say here is everything that you need to deploy or to get a dashboard running for your Kubernetes nodes or master node, you just, everything is here. So just follow the steps here as well, and then you can just watch my video as well, and you should be able to get through it too. So let's go back here. I have a notepad here, so I might as well use this one. Same thing. So I'll just use this. Apply, which is actually on the website as well. I just showed you the command. Either I can grab it from here or I can use it from there. That's your call. Okay. All right. So this is installing all the script that would give you. Let me show you. Okay. So this is basically, once I run that script, it started to create certain namespace, Kubernetes dashboard, service account, services, secret, config map, role, created an ID, and it tells you the, hey, warning, resource cluster Kubernetes dashboard is missing. So there are some files that are missing that we will be running, and then once we do that, we should be able to get that running. Cluster role, it gives you instructions to apply, apply. So I won't bother that much. If you want to go into detail, I can explain that. Give me a call or text me. I should be able to help you. Let's go next step. You just want to check what is the namespace that got created, like the one that I just showed you earlier. Hey, you know what? It creates certain namespace. I would just hit here, and you can see that it created Kubernetes dashboard, which is an active after that that installation. Before that, it wasn't there. Just to want to make sure. Okay, the next step for us would be to understand what is the dashboard service. I mean, this command pretty much does the same thing. It's just that it would probably get everything that is inside that dashboard. Let's try ctl minus n Kubernetes dash dashboard get all, and you can see that, hey, you know what, there are some deployment that took place. So one thing also, in order for you to look at for HTTP service, you need to make sure that they are on node port. The port is on the node, and you would either you can expose it or you can just you access it from there. If it doesn't make sense, pretty much what's happening is we have deployed a dashboard cluster and a deployment, and this is the list of all the deployment that says dashboard metric scraper, Kubernetes dashboard. It will all make sense for you once you, if you practice this, you should be good to go from there. Okay, so let's go to our next step. We will access dashboard from our browser, so we need to expose the port. So the port for Kubernetes dashboard is right now as cluster IP. We need to change that. We need to change it to node port, so that we have access to our public IP with the port that I expose. So let me show you the next process. So once again, we'll just go ahead and export the editor nano editor for you to make some adjustment to the IP to the text file, and then you will go into this file, Kubernetes service file, Kubernetes dashboard, to change the node port, to change the cluster IP into node port. So let me show you what I'm trying to say here. And then once you do that, you should see an editor that comes up here. All you need to do is go down all the way at the bottom, and you can see the type for the port is cluster IP. So in order for you to access HTTP or HTTPS services, you just need to change the cluster IP into node port. So I would go back here, and I would do node port, Control X, yes, and then you have edited, clear it. Now what the next step would be to go ahead and take a look at how the node port is set up. So for you to just to look at the difference, basically what I did was I changed it to okay. So now you can see, before that both of them were cluster IP and and cluster IP. What I did was, in order for me to access this Kubernetes dashboard, I changed the cluster IP into node port, and what I did was it actually picked up a port that is available for you to view them. So pretty simple. All you do is pick up your node, any node. So let's say, let me show you what I'm talking about. So if I just do this command actually tells you all the nodes with more information as to what your IPs of K master, K node 01, and K node 02. So if I click on, you can see I got 3 nodes. One is master, one is nodes, and one is K node 2. I can pick any. Let's do this one. So if I copy this, and then I want to make sure that I have this as a port for me to access. Just copy this. I just use this for me easier to copy here, and I get to let's open a page, type in this. You want to make sure that you have PS : and now so my node IP 38, and then I have the port that I exposed that Kubernetes dashboard to. It's an secure service, so you would use HTTPS, and you hit enter. Once you hit enter, here you go. It starts to ask you, hey, you know what? You log into a different portal, a different website. What is this? So is it risky or what? I would just go ahead and hit advance, and I would accept risk, and I would continue. Now, there you go. You got a dashboard working. So perfect. So this is the first step to get to the dashboard. All the steps that we followed, we installed Kubernetes dashboard and deployment, and then we cleared out some of the stuff. Now we got to this page. Now this page actually is asking you to, hey, how are you going to log into this dashboard? Is it through token or through kubeconfig? You can do both. I think we already have a token available, so what we'll do is we'll just use the token for now, and then we'll go into we'll go into login to set up some configuration. Give me 1 second. Let me pull up this information here. So next step is we'll just go ahead and just do dashboard, see how the dashboard looks like. So we go and secret from the dashboard, this command, and it tells you, hey, you know what? You got a token here, and it's in service account. So you can use assert as well if you want to, but for now we'll just use token. And so that was to check the secrets for the dashboard. And then the command the next one is to basically to look at service account which contain the secret, that is Kubernetes dashboard get service account. SA is a service account. You would click here and then you hit enter. Now this is where the secret is sitting, so our next command is pretty much simple. Grab the token command and use that dashboard and pull it out from there. So let's pull up this. I want to show you one more thing. I think we already see this here, but when you hit Kubernetes dashboard, I want to describe service account in Kubernetes dashboard. The grab token is what it's going to do is it's going to go into dashboard, Kubernetes dashboard. It will describe the service account of that dashboard, and then Kubernetes dashboard, and it will pull up the token from dashboard. It is the same thing what we did here. Get into dashboard, get into token, and then so if I hit enter, it should pull up the same thing up here that we did. It's just to give it more clear identity for your command. Okay, so next thing is copy this secret, and then you need to put in the token name up here. So just click here, space, token name here, enter, and then there you go. So now you have a token that is generated by the system. All you need to do is copy this token from here, copy, and then you go back to your dashboard and you paste it here. So once you paste it here, you should see it should let you log in. So here you go. You got Kubernetes dashboard. You got cluster role. You got namespace. You got pods, persistence, classes, but you can't see anything. There is nothing going on here. The reason behind that is once you click up here, you should see that you got so many error messages once you log into dashboard, because it doesn't identify. I mean, it doesn't tell you, hey, who are you? It's persistent volume forbidden, and then nodes forbidden. So basically, when we created the dashboard, it created an account, which is not like like we didn't define that account. So what's the next step? The next step is to delete the existing account and then recreate another one. So let me get you, that comes in more like identity management. We can discuss it in our next class. For now, we'll just stick to what our time here is. So once again, normal users for config map, I think it's config map, and then user through service account. There are two types of normal users for config map and user through service account. Get detail about cluster role. Let's do a quick understanding that, hey, you know what, there are two types of like details about cluster role and cluster binding. Actually, it's a little confusing if you're looking at it for the first time. There's a lot of information up here. You can just buzz through it. I can explain what cluster role is, cluster bindings are, but I think it's easy for you to just go through, read it. Okay, so we're just going to check two things. One is cluster role. We'll just pull up, hey, you know what, the system has an RBAC, role-based access control. What is it? So first we're going to do a clear the screen, clear, and then paste here. You can see, hey, you know what, there's a Kubernetes dashboard. You have an ID and cluster role RBAC authorization. And then if you want to describe it, you just go ahead and select this command. and you should see what are this I would say RBAC is assigned to. Okay, so this is basically I'm showing you, hey, the previous accesses has the reason it's showing up not authorized is because it already has these things, installed. So what I'm going to do is to delete them, and then cluster binding authorization, same thing. I would tell you. So what I'm going to do is delete these, and then I will create the next one. So first thing first is to delete first cluster node role. Okay, and then also okay, so both are done. Just to check, let's say if you want to check, hey, what is the I don't think it's going to show up, but let's check it out. Yeah, there's nothing. So that shows that it's created, it's deleted. Now what we're going to do is we will delete the cluster role dashboards. These all commands are from the website. You can just go through the link that I sent you. It's up here. Every single item I follow through from here. I would just create a new role. I will go back here, hit enter, and it created a new role. Okay, perfect. kubectl, create cluster role binding Kubernetes dashboard, and then cluster role equal to Kubernetes dashboard and a service account in the dashboard. So I'm just showing you what it's going to be creating. So go ahead and click here, type here, hit enter. So what it did was it created cluster role binding .rbac .authorization.k8 in IO. So in this dashboard, it created a role. Okay, so it's a little challenging to start to understand from the scratch, but that's what it is. Now, what I need to do is simple. Go back here. It should. Let me actually make it easier. Put it up here, and then get back to my dashboard. I wonder where did I click on. Oh my god, there you go. So I would just refresh this page. Okay, so now it seems like we have everything working here. I would just go ahead and hit cluster role. There's nothing default namespace. I will just click here and overview. So there you can see the workload has been status of the daemon set, deployment, pods, replica set. So you got all this here. Actually maybe I should show you some good, interesting, fun stuff. Let's do this. Let me deploy something so you can see it's moving, right? So if it's all green right now, there's nothing in there. So if I click here, kubectl get all, there's pretty much nothing, right? So let me deploy a deployment. kubectl get deployment. I would say nginx dash embed equal to nginx. I would do output in YAML file. You can do in JSON as well if you want to. I would just, YAML is the easiest one. So I would just do, I would say test1.yaml. This is a file that is creating for that deployment. Hit here, oh, YAML. kubectl get deployment nginx image equal to nginx. See, you have to be very careful, because if you don't spell it, what happened is it says, hey, you know what, I can't find that image nginx because the name was not correct. So I just fixed it. Now it's deployed it. Well, it's not deploying it anyways. So let's check it out, what's going on here. Okay, so oh, you know what happened here? We did get deployment because we got no deployment right now. So we have to create a deployment first for us to see it. So sorry, my bad. I would just go ahead here. I would create deployment nginx, click here. Okay, there you go. So now you can do kubectl get, now you can see how it's employing get all. So you can see there is a pod that was open in nginx. There is oh, there's image pull issue as well. So we will fix that in a second here. And then we have a deployment name in nginx, and then there was a replica set that was one desired one. What we'll do is we'll kubectl delete delete deployment nginx, and it cleaned up. It just cleaned up the error. As it will clean up error. Kubectl create deployment in nginx dash dash image equal to nginx minus o. I don't have to do minus oy. Just do this. I created a deployment. So you can see if you do delete all, now it is creating it is terminating the older one, but it is now creating a container for nginx. So I would say kubectl get pods. It's going to show you that there is one pods running. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll just do another command, kubectl get all, and then you can see that, hey, this nginx container has one desired container, one kern. So what we're going to do is we'll scale these so that you can see it's more fun to see all those way. So kubectl scale deployment nginx dash f replicas equal to 50 containers. So that's interesting, right? So you can just create 50 container in a snap of a finger. Just click here, and then you do kubes get all. You can see that it's just thinking, because obviously we're creating 50 containers, and now it's creating pending. It's going to start, like, it's running, it's doing something. Pods, like you can see, it's like 76% of pod has been used. Deployment, only one deployment. There's no daemon set. There's replica about 50, replica 75%. So it's gonna like start creating and deploying. That's the purpose of this exercise. I'll show you later on. But you can see there's some deployment, only one deployment, all right, which nginx. You can see there's nginx deployment, 50 containers. It tells you all the dashboard. There's no, I don't think there was any job that I created. Pod, it tells you how many pods it's been created. It's just pulling the list, just creating. You can see this is creating replica set, 50 replicas. So it's going to show you there are 50 replicas that are being created. And one more thing, see if you can see if it's defined 50 sets. Also, while we are here, let me show you something else as well. Cluster role. Like I said, I had cluster role. You got dashboard, ViewNet, nodes, and then if I click on nodes, it tells you how many nodes I have, how many machines I have. I have one master, and then queue node 1 and 2. So let's go back to cluster here for a second. Overview would be a better place. You can see it's now starting to green here because we have deployment starting to start pending. So it's doing its running, and it's gonna see, you can see starts to run. One of the pods started running. It's slow, but you can see that this is being deployed. All right, so you can see this is a dashboard, pretty simple dashboard for Kubernetes, and everything is here. Daemon set. There are 2 daemon sets there sitting there. Deployment over here. It's going to show that, hey, you know what, you got. It's same thing on your left. It shows up here. Okay, so that concludes today's topic. It was more about deploying a Kubernetes dashboard and how do you install in your master node, and then how do you monitor by using our HTTP services. This is already pending. Some of them started to create, running. So it takes time because I just, oh, maybe I can do this here. Let's do this. Scale to 2, and once I do 2, you can see it will start deleting the pods. um, you can see it starts to terminate. One is running, it is terminating, and then you can see all of them went green because we changed it from 50 to 30. That will be it. I mean, feel free to grab the script off my GitHub, and then make sure you visit the Kubernetes website for how to install dashboard and RBAC. These are the important things. So I would love for you to have a chat. Feel free to reach out. If you like my video, please subscribe and like, and have a good day.